I've been trading for half a decade now, and a little bit over a year and a half ago, I introduced trailing stops to my trading, and it was one of the best decisions that I ever made. So today we're going to be going over everything that I know about trailing stops. By the end of this, you're going to have a complete system. You're going to have a complete understanding also, all the way from what trailing stops are, to knowing when to use them, to knowing when to not use them, to having an aggressive scalping system, to having a more conservative swing trading type of system, understanding how to mix them together, and everything in between. Trailing stop losses has made me millions of dollars in the markets, and hopefully after this video, you can implement some of what I know in your own trading. I aim for this to be the only video that you'll ever need on trailing stop losses, and because of that, it's going to be pretty intensive, and you might need to watch it over again a couple times. So save this video, watch it when you need to, and let's get into it. Now, before we fully begin, go ahead and join the Discord server down in the description. All my content will always be free on YouTube. I'm giving away the entire way that I trade on YouTube. So there's free channels here, and you're going to have about 4,000 people as of the time of this recording that also trade just like you and are going to be asking similar questions. So you might as well join up the Discord. If you want to watch me trade live every single morning with me in a call, in a screen share call, then you can go ahead and join live trading. Live trading is not required at all. All my content is free on YouTube, but if you want to learn more and you want additional education, see how I actually execute, this is an option for you. But without further ado, let's get back into trailing stop losses. All right, so this is kind of the normal way that most people trade, where they'll have some sort of entry down here. Let's say they bought in for a long, their stop loss will be down here where this red line is, and they'll just have a particular price level that they want to take profit at. They'll have some set risk reward, let it be a 1 to 3, a 1 to 5, whatever that they're targeting, and they'll target it and they'll get out of the market. So all a trailing stop is completely removing the take profit part of things and just moving your stop loss up with price. Now, why might one use a trailing stop loss over a take profit? So my philosophy here is that a take profit, right, if you're using something like this, you're telling the market that it needs to stop here, or you're saying that you think the market is going to stop there. Every great piece of trading advice in all of history is going to tell you, do not predict the market, try to be reactive to it. You don't know what the market is going to do, and I guarantee you don't. In fact, I would be willing to bet anybody on earth any amount of money, that they cannot tell me exactly what the market is going to do for any period of consistent time. I would bet any single living human any amount of money on earth that they cannot. And every great piece of advice from every trader in history is going to be reactive. And I think a take profit, a TP, is the exact counter to that, because you're putting a level in the market where you're taking money out. The market has given you something and you're taking money out, saying, I think price is going to reverse from here. Well, what if it doesn't? That's the whole idea of a trailing stop. Instead of a take profit here, if price doesn't go down, you move your stop loss up and up and up and up so that you get a much better exit most of the time. Most of the time, a trailing stop loss is going to leave you with a much better exit on the trade. You will never exit at the exact top, but you will never be exiting really in the middle either. You're generally going to be exiting near the top of price when you're utilizing a trailing stop loss. And this has been an astronomical increase in my edge in trading, where my average risk reward now is dramatically higher than it ever was in the past. The feeling after I'm done with the trade, I feel much happier with where I'm getting out. You're never going to have a situation where it gets close to your take profit, then reverses to your stop loss, because what's going to happen in this situation is you're just going to get trailed out a little bit lower. So if the market gives you anything at all, you're going to take money out of the market, even if it didn't get to your target. That's another problem that I have with take profits. People have these things called targets where they say the market is going to go there for me to make any money. Well, now you're imposing your will on the market. You're telling it what it should do. You don't fucking know what the market is going to do. You don't fucking know at all. So why are you setting a target level? I don't even know if the market's going to reach there. So why am I going to give it the opportunity to go halfway to my target and then stop me out? If the market gave me money, I'm taking money. I'm taking money out if it gave me money. I will never be in a trade where I'm up money and then I don't take anything out of it. That's stupid as fuck. So anyways, a little rant there, but this is why trailing stops, in my opinion, is better, and this is what they are, okay? So when trailing is not better is if you have very big stop losses. If you have exceptionally large stop losses, trailing stops might not be the best option for you. And don't worry, we're going to get into the exact system of how I trail stop losses on real price action here in a second. But if you have very, very large stop losses, then trailing stops might not be the best idea for you, because you could get trailed out for a negative risk reward or a very low risk reward that all of a sudden turns your statistics unprofitable. So if you have tighter stop losses, trailing makes more and more sense. The tighter your stop loss, the more trailing makes sense. The bigger your stop loss, the less trailing makes sense. Unless you're trailing very, very long term in a very, very conservative way, which we will go over as well. But this is just a rundown of what trailing stops is and maybe when it's not better. So let's get into the aggressive way that I trail stops. This is how I do it personally when I'm scalping. And we're going to do that on real price action. All right, let's go over this example here on a long. I picked this example because it's going to go over pretty much every single thing that I trail off of. In the real world, the examples won't be this clean most of the time. Sometimes they will be this clean, but you'll still be able to take pretty much everything that I do out of this example. So this is going to be for how I aggressively trail on scalps. So imagine you got involved long down here at the green level, and your original stop loss was down here where this red line is. So first and foremost, as price pops up and gains this order block right here, we're going to turn this to a different color. As price pops up and gains that order block right here, you can move your stop loss to break even. Okay, this would be your first trail. That's the first type of thing that I trail on. When an order block gets gained, you could trail to the low or the high of that order block. Then we have a relatively big body up candle. You're going to want to move your trail to right there. So big body candles, just look at the surrounding candles. If you have a large candle, you could trail to that. Okay, then price falls down, trades into a high time frame level and rejects. At the point of it rejecting, so when this candle closes, you're going to trail to where it tested to that level. You're always going to trail to high time frame level retests. Okay, nothing on this candle. We have a big body explosive candle and we break a prior high. Whenever you break a prior high or you have an explosive candle, you're going to trail to right underneath the candle that broke the high or was expansive. And then price comes in and it retests the halfway point of that wick after closing above it. That's a level retest after a high time frame level. So you're going to go ahead and trail to that test. Also on the most aggressive moves, the lowest fair value gap tends to stay open. So if you have a range like this and you explode out of it and you leave a fair value gap on the bottom, you want to trail to that fair value gap, because if you trade into that fair value gap, you're probably going back to your entry. So trail to this fair value gap. Price moves, big body explosive candle outside of this little internal range. So we're going to trail to underneath here. Price breaks this high inside of this candle on 1225. So we're going to trail underneath here. Price keeps pushing. Up here, we would not yet to be trailed. We trade down into what? We trade down into a fair value gap test and we reject. So you want to trail on fair value gap tests, move it to here. And then we have price action popping. We break this little internal high right here with this candle. So we move it up. And that's, we actually missed something here. We have a immediate rebalance right here. Always trail to immediate rebalances. And then you would trail to this candle. And then as price reaches your next high time frame level, this is where you could drop down to a lower time frame. So if you're trading on a 5 minute, for example, drop down to a 1 minute. If you're trading on a 1 minute, drop down to a 15 second and apply the same trailing to that. So the idea is if it holds this level and rolls, you'll be trailed out relatively quickly. But if it just immediately smokes this level and keeps going, you're going to be able to get out higher because you're going to start trailing on a 15 second. So oftentimes you'll see me trail out instead of right here on a position like this, I'll be trailed out like way up here because when we get close into a level, I'm trailing on a 15-second chart. Another thing here is imagine that we had a high time frame level down here, for example, back when we were trailed to here. If you're pushing into a high time frame level, always trail to the bottom of the candle that's pushing into that high time frame level. So that's pretty much it for the aggressive way. Those are all the things that I tend to trail on. It's going to be the exact same thing for a short, just flip everything on its head. Now we're going to go over to a conservative way, something that you could use when you're swing trading, and then talk about how you could potentially mix them together to even get more out of your positions and different ideas that I have and that I'm experimenting with to increase the profitability of trading, trailing stop losses in general. But let's go over the conservative way first, and then we'll take a look at how to mix them. All right, so the conservative way is pretty simple. If you know something about market structure, then you already know the conservative way, but it's basically just trailing on higher highs and higher lows. So in an uptrend, the market is going to move like this, where it's making higher highs on a big time frame and higher lows on a big time frame. Higher high, then it makes a higher low. That's where we get the trend from, right? That's what a trend is. And the higher the time frame, the less likely you're going to get big liquidity sweeps underneath levels. So this is also why this more conservative way is more prone to working on a higher time frame. I would recommend a 4-hour or higher if you're going to be swing trading. So let's say you got involved down here. Basically, all you're going to do is you're going to wait for price to run away from your entry, okay? And then wait for the first decent pullback. You see how in this range, price pulled back, okay? You're going to note the high, the highest high in that pullback, and wait for price to close over top of it. So right here, price closes over top of it. And now, in between where that pullback started and where price broke out of that little range, look for the lowest point. That's where your stop loss is going to be trailed to next. Okay, price pushes, no meaningful pullback until right here. Okay, we have a meaningful pullback. So go ahead and mark this high and wait for price to close above it, which happens inside of this candle. Okay, and if price was to push all the way down here, we would be trailed out underneath this low, right? Once price breaks out, look between where it broke and the high and look for the lowest point, okay, or the highest point if you're shorting. You're going to move your stop loss to here. And then we have a decent pullback right here. This is the high, this is the lowest point. So your stop loss gets moved to right here underneath this low. And I'll draw out that high for you so that you understand. We have a decent pullback right here. Price breaks above it inside of this candle. So on the candle that it breaks, we're going to move our stop loss to right here, the lowest point in between those two. We have a decent pullback. Price action breaks. Okay, it's just this market structure type of thing over and over again. And then we have another decent pullback. Price action breaks up. So our stop loss gets moved to here. Okay, and then I'd argue we don't have any real decent pullbacks until it finally pushes down and we would have got stopped out right here. Instead of, which in this case, you might argue, well, if you would have targeted this high, your target would have been better. If you would have targeted this high, you got a much better trail. But imagine this just kept going and kept going and kept going, which a lot of times these markets could do. They could trend for weeks or even years on end. You could continue to trail and take a huge amount of money out of it. So again, I would only implement this way on swing trading, but you can also implement it on shorter time frames. And I want to talk about that next, how we could potentially mix together these two systems in order to make it more profitable in total. Right, so I'm just going to give you a couple ideas here to maybe make this a little bit better for you, some things that I've done in the past. For aggressive trading, I've tried things where I only start trailing my stop loss after I'm up a certain amount. So I'll only start trailing, for example, after I'm up 3R. This could help where you don't want to get trailed out early in the position, but only after it's kind of ran for you. Something along the same note is like if you're range bound in the beginning, you only trail once you break out of that range and you start being trendy. This is going to avoid the same things, right? Trailing out really early in the position, which could get pretty frustrating, to be honest. Another thing that you could do is you could have targets, right? Let's say that you have 2 high time frame levels and price trades into one. You could start trailing conservatively with market structure, right? On pullbacks like so, And then after you get like 75% of the way to your target, so let's say that's like right here, then you switch to a really aggressive way, because a lot of times price will fall down and leave a space between the high time frame level just to run it later. So you don't want to risk this pullback. So this is a way where anything above this 75% to your target, you could trail really aggro, right? And anything below that, you just trail it based off market structure. And that could avoid you getting out early in the lower half, and you're much more aggressive in the top half. So a couple ways that you could do it to potentially increase profitability, ways you can mix and match. You would have to look at your own statistics for that. Anyways, that's how you trail your stop. If you want to, join the Discord in the description. If you want to join live trading, join live trading. And yeah, hopefully this helped.